Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next The Reckoning of Roku chapter analysis video. This one's going to be for chapter 12, which is called Swear to the Spirits. Once again, YouTube channel membership is available if you would like to help support the channel. But we'll jump in. This is going to be a pretty quick chapter. It's only like 2-3 pages, and most of it is sort of the action of the literal gliding arrival onto the island. It's fun, but there's not as much maybe to really dive into with this one. So basically what we get here, Lola refuses to fly into the fog. So Roku and Gyatso have to figure out another way to actually get onto the island itself. Because obviously the whole place, even the shore, is like covered by fog. So they don't really know exactly what they're kind of going into here. We get the idea that if the shape of the fog echoed the shape of the island, it was a vaguely crescent-formed piece of land, dozens of miles long and several miles wide. The soaring height of the haze toward the interior suggested formidable mountains, probably a volcano, given that it was part of a small chain, but it was impossible to determine any specific graphical features. So they're really going in blind, and Roku is like, well, the only other option, Gyatso, is you and your glider. Take us in. And Gyatso, of course, has no confidence that he'll be able to activate his airbending when they go, so we're gonna die, basically, is the idea. But they go back and forth on this of like, Roku's like, I believe in you, I've got to get into this island, I think this is the way we're gonna get there, and Gyatso's just like, no, it's not gonna work. And then Gyatso's still pointing out that even if it does work, we could crash into a mountain the second we go into the fog. Roku's like, we'll skim along the edge, aim for the shore, but Gyatso points out every island that wasn't fog covered that we passed up to now was covered in rocks on the shores. Like it's a disaster if we go ahead and do this. And so we build up to the idea that how did Gyatso use his airbending before? It was when Roku was in danger. So Roku's just like, oh, I know how this works. And he basically leans back and literally falls off Lola on purpose. And Gyatso jumps after him. He does manage to airbend and save Roku. But the two of them basically end up in this situation where they're out of control. Gyatso's not used to holding another person on his glider. We effectively get a sort of repeat of the moment that we saw in 306 where the two of them end up on the glider and crash down onto the air temple. But this time it's the two of them doing that but crashing onto the island. Specifically, once they get in there, they realize, okay, we're over water. I'm going to have to drop you because we're not going to make it to land, but like we're close enough that you can swim ashore. And you see the desperation actually begin to come out for Roku here, because all of a sudden it's like, oh no, I don't like open water. It even says it. Even if he survived a fall, he'd be at the mercy of open water, his least favorite place in the world. And so Gyatso is forced to drop him into the water, and Roku's freaking out. This is where the title drop happens. I swear to the spirits, if you do this, like, I'll kill you, basically. But no, Gyatso has to drop him. He falls into the water. We do get the details here of, like, he knew how to swim, but he hadn't in years. Highlighting, I think, the obvious suggestion of some sort of an accident in the ocean is what happened to Yasu, his brother. And because of that, Roku has a fear of the water. We need to get the details of that, but it's beginning to become a little bit more clear what the situation actually is. And so, yeah, Roku's panicking in the water, but then Gyatso's like, it's shallow enough that you can just stand up. And so Roku's just like, oh. And they just basically walk onto the island in that way. And that is the chapter. It's quick. I understand why they separated this out into like a 3-4 page chapter, just to highlight the incident, the idea of Roku taking advantage of, like, to save my life you can use your airbending, but bringing Roku's fear of open water back into play I thought was relatively nice. But otherwise there's not too much to say other than that I'm pretty sure this is, for the most part, this is the end of Lola in the book, because Lola's not going to come into the fog. And I think in the next chapter they will address what is going to happen to Lola kind of waiting for them on the outside. But they're here now on the island, and so the idea is, of course, we're going to get to see their initial reaction to the island in the next chapter. But yeah, that is this one. It's a quick one. There will be a bunch of very quick chapters as we go through this book, especially towards the end. We get a lot of very quick cuts, so expect quite a few short videos as we go kind of further into this. But more nice dynamic between the two companions. But in the comments, let me know what your thoughts were. But that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.